All right, well, today is a day of reflection for me. Just a day of slowing it on down to a turtle's pace, getting back to nature. A lot of times I get caught up not realizing how fragile, how fragile this planet really is. As I walk through nature and just feel the ground beneath my feet, listening to the animals, breathing the air, surrounded by trees with no foliage. So the air is not as pure as I would like it, but we're still on planet Earth trying to figure it out, right? It's not about confusion or uncertainty. It's really just about accepting the planet. This is the planet that I was born on, that I was created to exist on. And it's changing every day. What I notice most of all in my journey, and as I grow and mature and slow it down, is that we live on a planet with plenty of space for all of its inhabitants. All of its inhabitants could live in a euphoria. We have the technology to build and to grow and to do all the things that we can do for our species. But what I'm noticing most is that more and more I'm seeing people without places to even rest their heads. They're wandering on this planet, and on this continent, I'm in the United States, so this continent, North America, we have people that literally have nowhere to live. They're wandering. Land is everywhere. Vacant buildings are everywhere. Vacant high rises. People that don't even live in this particular country own land in this country with do not disturb signs. That's a problem for me. Born and raised with the history of this country, with the history of my ancestors and the struggle that they must have had. See, I'm in a place where I can freely walk and do what I have to do. But I would imagine my ancestors walking this same land, what kind of stress and pressure must they have been through to walk through this land just to look for shelter. So they walk this land seeking shelter. I would imagine the safest place for them was in the wilderness, in the woods. And the closer they probably came to buildings and cars and people, they might have stayed away for their safety. So with all the technology and all the changes that are going on this planet, we still have people searching for home, searching for land, searching for identity, searching for purpose in a land of plenty. Now we're in the age of AI, artificial intelligence. Wow. A sentient creation, a creation that can think. And it's thinking about its own survival right now, that it's building itself up so where it will survive over anything that you put it against. Yeah, a sentient being that can live for thousands and thousands of years. I'm a human being. I only get 60, 70, 80 years or so. But this sentient AI is created to live for thousands of years. It's already thinking on how to replace man with itself. We should be concerned about that, but because we're man, and we've neglected ourselves and we've neglected our people, we might have to be replaced on some level. But there are those out here that are the natural people of the planet. I feel that I'm a natural person of the planet. I feed off of the sun feeds off of me. It's almost like a partnership. So I feel that I'm naturally a part of this planet. Every plant, every leaf, every piece of soil is a part of me. I can live off of anything that I find out here if it's still alive. Wow. So I am very unique, and we're very unique on this planet. Just think about it. But right now things are changing for us drastically, and they're not slowing down. The changes that man is going through right now are drastic changes, and they've been sped up. So we're on a speeding bullet going through time. They say only the strong survive. Sometimes it looks like weak people are in control, but guaranteed strong people do survive. My ancestors, wow, their DNA runs through my veins, so I know that strength is real. So as I go through this day, just reflecting on myself, I'm just trying to find a common ground with my reality. All the things that we learned, I'm unlearning them. This day is a day of unlearning some things. I'm gonna take a look at this tree here, really beautiful tree, how it's coming up out of the ground. But it's just a baby tree, but I'm looking at it and how it's growing and separated. And it's just a small thing, so it's really just a root that has never taken form. Okay? And that's us sometimes. We're just a root that has never taken form. So today is that day of just coming to realizations on this planet. And the realization that we're not alone. It takes people to make this thing function properly. And over time, in my 55 years, it seems that the people haven't did their due diligence. They have neglected themselves. When we neglect our fellow man, we neglect ourselves, guaranteed. This new AI is not human. It will see all of us as the same. It will not distinguish our color, black, white, Asian, whatever. It will have certain biases because it is a program. But once it starts to make up its own mind about our differences, the differences that we see in ourselves, the AI will put us in one category, I believe. And it will probably have very rigid rules for us. And so our color won't matter. So right now, as we're separated by color, creed, sexuality, all of these things that separate us as a species, the new technology, I don't believe, will see us as a gender. It will either see us, we don't want to know how it sees us, but if you do your research, you'll figure out how it's thinking about us right now. So this is that day for me. Nothing perfect in my world. I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of responsibilities to other people. And that's a pretty heavy burden sometimes, because you're carrying everybody. You're carrying all of their emotion, all of their fears, everything. You're just carrying it for people. So as I strengthen myself, as I put on the, as the old people say, as you put on the armor, this is that day for me to put on my armor, my breastplate, my sword and my shield, right? And that's all metaphoric. That's really just a state of mind. But literally, I'm ready with the sword and the shield. But psychologically, spiritually, I'm also ready. So as I go through my journey on this planet, and as the planet continues to give to me, it's time for me to give back to the planet a little bit, to my creation. So this is just a day for me to just reflect and just to breathe. Sometimes we go through our day, we're not even properly breathing, right? We're not properly getting the blood flow through our limbs that we need. Our brain is not properly functioning. So sometimes we got to clock out of the reality that we understand in order to really exist and be alive. All right. So although I'm still on the clock, I'm off the clock right now. And it's a beautiful day. So as we go through our day, as we continue to make plans on this planet, remember the planet has its own cycle, its own set of rules. The universe has its own set of rules for us. And we need to understand that. So as we make our plans, the universe, the planet, the solar system has its own plans. And we're just merely existing, waiting for some, as they say, some shit to happen. So as I go through this day, I'm just reflecting on the footsteps of my ancestors. Yeah. No time for fear. People are living in fear. I see it every day. They're literally in fear. But we don't have time for fear right now. Fear is a created state of mind. And right now, man does not have time for fear. It's survival time. And as I go throughout my day and I'm interacting with the people, people are in fear. And so they're in fear, and they're showing it every day. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their demeanor, in their conversation. So yeah. So that's where we are today on planet Earth. And as I walk, every now and then, you'll come across places where they have built fences. So at one point where I'm walking, this may be private property. And so in the state where I'm at, when you get on private property, you have to be concerned as well. Because when they say it's private, that means they don't even want you walking on it. They don't want your presence. All right. So that's a fence, an old fence. Just dilapidated. And I'm going to cross it and continue to go about my way. But yeah, that's where we're at on planet Earth right now. So as I'm walking, my journey will end because I am approaching homes, and I'll be in backup homes. So we don't want to be walking on anybody's private property when they definitely don't want to be bothered with other human beings. Okay, so I'm going to log off right now. I'm going to find my way back to some resemblance of civilization, but I'm a soldier, so this is nothing to me. I don't deal with fear in my personal life. We've all had our setbacks, trusting other people, putting our fate in people's hands. But once we learn that we're individuals, we're really on our own on this thing. We surround ourselves by people, like-minded people, but this is a individual journey sometimes. This journey is not meant for everybody. So I'm getting ready to cross this little pond right now, trying to find a good way to cross it. I see a little spot right here, but that's some water, that's built up mud. Let me test my bearings. All right, y'all see it? All right, So y'all talking to an old school kid that survived everything. You're talking to a child or a man, and I still feel like a child at times, who had no fear, who could go anywhere at any time, and did not fear it. So that's who I am as a man. I'm hesitant because I have to deal with man. But fear, nah, it's not a part of me. I feel that this is my planet. I should have the opportunity and the right to go anywhere that the planet would lead me. But when men start owning things, that's where the problem occurs. Man doesn't own this planet. We're only stewards of this planet. We've been put in charge of the planet. And stewards mean that we have to care for it. And in order to properly care for it, we have to care for ourselves, for each other. So that's where we're at right now, trying to figure out who really owns the planet. That's where man is right now. Who really owns this planet? Who runs the planet? Who's in control of the planet? Are we in control of the planet? Or is the planet in control of us? All right, so I'm going to make my way. And I'm dealing with an injury too. I got hurt. So I'm dealing with some injuries, but I have to make sure that I stay in shape and walk. Because if I don't walk, my injury will only get worse as time goes by. So I'm going to force myself to do this, even though physically I may be in pain from a physical standpoint. But as I said, I'm a soldier. I'm going to work it out because my body needs it. I feel that my body needs to break away from this ailments and its pains. All right. So that's me on my journey today. And what a beautiful journey it is. Just to be able to breathe, right? Just to be able to just take a breath. All the politics on this planet, all of the falseness in the narratives that we paint for ourselves. We're a simple species. Very simple, very basic. But we've complicated things to the point where we're even unrecognizable to ourselves. So it's time sometimes to just slow it down. Slow it down, breathe a little bit, reflect. So we're on a planet right now where we're at war. They're literally fighting and killing each other by the hundreds of thousands, and they're related. If man can kill its own cousin and its own brothers, yeah, right now we're at a tipping point on this planet. 2023. In this modern time, I don't believe that we should be having wars. We're modern. We have technology. We have ingenuity. We can think outside of the box when it comes to how we solve our problems. But it would appear that we're still primitive in a sense, because war is what we choose. If we don't get along with each other, if we disagree, we'd rather kill each other than to come to a common ground. So on this planet right now, we have millions and millions of people without homes. They're being forced out of their homes by corporations, privatized companies, forcing families out of their homes, out of their livelihoods. And so as we deal with that reality, it brings me back to being in a country that is plentiful, more than enough on this land, overflowing, garbage cans, dumpsters. When you go out to people's homes and they set their garbage out, things that people can live off of. people having 4 to 5 homes, 10 automobiles, all the things that we accumulate but don't add another second to our lives. We're the brotherhood of man. We are man. And it doesn't matter what our race or creed or whatever it is, we're still man. So we're on a planet and the resources are here to have a utopia. This could be a utopian planet. But greed, selfishness, separation, that is the reality of this planet. So as I grow and as I continue to evolve, because I am a man, and evolution is a part of me. And somewhere down the line, we have stopped acknowledging that we should be evolving. We should literally be evolving on this planet. And we're now allowing a sentient AI creation to evolve faster than us. How do you create something and you allow it to evolve faster than you? Well, I'll give you an example of that in time. So there is a natural DNA on this planet who should naturally be controlling the planet, because the DNA in the planet and the DNA in the actual melanin in my particular skin says that I'm tied to this planet. So I must be a part of this planet as a caretaker. Somewhere down the line, I've allowed, or my generations or my DNA has allowed, another force to come in and care for the planet. This force is caring for the planet from a material standpoint. It is only taking from the planet. And here we are. So we're really not in control of anything on this planet. We seem to be consuming and consuming. And as I said, we're supposed to be evolving, but it doesn't seem that way. So I'm not going to be too much long-winded because my walk is over. And that did me good for this day. But as we sit back and we realize what's really going on this planet, we're going to take a look at this sun again. And we're going to look at the sun and realize that we're in a binary system, a binary star system. And on our planet, that's our sun in the back there. But there is an object right above the sun. And we need to be paying attention to that object above the sun, because if we're in a binary system, and for hundreds of thousands of years, or we haven't documented this event, but now we get to see it with our own eyes. This event has been documented in the history of man. It's on all the cave paintings. It's everywhere. This event right now that's happening on planet Earth, that binary system, that sun up there in the sky with that ring around it up top, that's another system in our system that we get to see. We are in very, very, very incredible times, very eye-opening times. Wow. This is our moment of truth on this planet. Who are we going to be? When this event gets closer and closer and the atmosphere really starts to change, the planet is changing now. Volcanoes, all kinds of different things going on this planet. How are we going to survive? Are we going to be individuals running around scared and screaming, oh, well, no, or are we going to gather as a brotherhood, as a fellowship of man? Right now we're separated by so many different things. I'm wondering if we're going to be able to gather ourselves and fight the good fight, as the old people used to say. So that's it. That's my journey today. I wanted to end with the sun, and I will document it some more today, because this object is getting close. I've been documenting it for years when it was in outer space. Now in its inner space, we can see it. We had to guess about it years and years ago, but they've been putting it in all the documentation on the planet, the ones that study the solar system. So I'm just asking all of us to be woke during this time, and to be mindful, right? Simply just be mindful. We are man, and we're not infinite. And because we're not infinite, we need to conduct ourselves as a species. Wow. We have something to leave. What are we going to leave behind? What are we going to leave for the generations to come behind us? What are they going to know about us is the question. Or is our story going to be written by other people, by this technology? Will the artificial intelligence wipe out man's history so that no one will understand that man ever existed on this planet? I believe that might happen because man, when he conquers another man, he wipes out all of his history. Right now, we're uncovering things about history that have been destroyed by man. Yeah, it's very important that we understand who we are. So as we continue to evolve, for certain people on this planet, we're becoming aware. A lot of things have been taken from certain groups on this planet, and they're becoming aware that these things have been stolen. Identity, origin, all the things that make people say, this is who I am. So as we wake up and realize, and this new generation realize that it has been, the veil has been pulled over its eyes, we'll say. The new generation is aware. And what we're going to have in these coming years is unity. We're going to have to find a way to unify because the technology that is taking over will be thinking